Hi guys, welcome back to Law Giri. I hope all of you are doing great. Today we are going to talk about how to prepare for CLAT 2023 exam. For all of you who have moved from 10th class to 11th class and are planning to give law entrance exams, right? And they have no idea what is CLAT, or they have a little bit of idea but they want a detailed video, then this video is meant for you. Not only I'm going to tell you the pattern of CLAT, the topics that you need to cover, how to cover, the books that you need to go for, how to study, what should be your strategy. I'm also going to give you a 2-year plan. I'm going to tell you that how you should utilize your 2 years that you have, right? Because you have 2021, you have 2022, it is in 2023 that you are going to give the exam. So this video is meant for all those who are new to CLAT, who want to know more and more about CLAT or 5-year law entrance exams. Please watch this video. This is going to help you out a lot. Chaliye. Yeah guys, welcome to Law Giri. I hope you're subscribed to Law Giri's YouTube channel and hit that bell notification so that you do not miss any of our videos. And I hope you're following us on Instagram. We're there by the name @IamLawGiri. We do pretty motivational stuff out there if you want to stay happy, if you want to stay motivated, and if you want to stay connected a little more with Law Giri, then do follow us on Instagram. First of all, I'm going to answer some of the really commonly asked questions related to CLAT. Number one question is, what is the full form? It is Common Law Admission Test, right? Next is, what happens if I clear CLAT? What will happen? क्या होगा अगर मैं CLAT clear कर लूँगी? If you clear CLAT, you will get admission in one of the top law NLUs. Now, obviously, the better marks you get, the better law school you get. So, national law schools, if you get admission in better, like the best law schools, then what will happen? You will have better job opportunities, right? You will be taught by one of the best faculties, best professors. You will get to meet people who are going to be your classmates, your batchmates, your seniors, who have dreams and goals that is going to inspire you. Now, I'm not saying that if you are not in an NLU, you cannot be a good or great lawyer. You can be, but then here you get opportunities easily. Here in an NLU, you get opportunities easily, but when you are not in an NLU, you have to create opportunities for yourself, right? So it is better that you get national law admission in national law schools or national law universities, as we call it. Can I give 3-year law entrance exam for DU or any other? Look, you need to understand one thing, my people, that if you are in your 11th or 12th, it is in your 12th class, like in the year that you give your boards, that very year you are eligible to give your 5-year law entrance exams. And the eligibility criteria for 5-year law entrance exams or admission to 5-year law entrance exam is that you should have passed your 12th class, and by the time your results are out, your 12th results are also out, so it goes in sync, everything is in sync. So 12th class is your eligibility criteria for 5-year law entrance exams, whereas for 3-year law entrance exams, the eligibility criteria is that you should be a graduate. That is, you should have done graduation in any field, BA, BCom, BBA, engineering, MBBS, anything, doesn't matter, but you need to be a graduate to give 3-year law entrance exams. So if you are in 12th, you cannot give 3-year law entrance exam because Delhi University has only 3-year law course, not 5-year law course. So you cannot prepare for 3-year law entrance exams if you are in 12th or 11th, right? This should be clear. Next is, in which year can I give CLAT? I told you that in the year that you are giving your board exams, that very year you can give your CLAT exam. Now, I'm going to give you an example because a lot of people are confused. For example, 2021 is going on, then 2022 is going to come, and then 2023, the year for you. Right, now 2021 you are in 11th, 2022 you're going to enter 12th, right? It is in 2023 that you're going to have your board exams. Now in this very year, in 2023, you can appear for your CLAT or other law entrance exams. Right, now you need to understand one thing, after 2023 also you can appear for the exam, right? 2024, 2025. Yeah, I hope what I'm trying to say is clear. Right, next is, how many attempts? Unlimited. Are there any other law entrance exams or law colleges? Yes, there are so many, and you should know about them, because you know what is the best part about 5-year law entrance exams? That almost the syllabus for each and every law exam is almost the same. So here and there, like 2 topics here, 3 topics there, and you can prepare for the exam, for other law entrance exams. I've done a video that law schools other than NLUs, you should watch that for sure. And you should also know about this exam called AILT, that is All India Law Entrance Test, that is for NLU Delhi. So all NLUs are under CLAT except one, that is National Law School Delhi, National Law University Delhi. You should know about AILT, and I'm going to leave the link of both the videos in the description box below. Do watch the video, and also I'm going to leave a link to the video wherein I've discussed that how the syllabus is same and which are those little topics here and there that you have to cover extra beside your CLAT topics, and you'll be ready, or you can give other exams really well. Okay, about the exam, it is very important to know about the exam. This is going to help you in planning. This is going to help you in planning. So please, you should have your notebooks, you should have your pens, and you need to note everything. Maximum marks 150. Duration of CLAT examination 2 hours. Multiple choice questions 150. So they're going to be MCQs, multiple choice questions, 150 questions of 1 mark each. Right? There is negative marking. What is negative marking? If you give a wrong answer, 0.25 marks are going to get deducted. Right? About the subjects, which are the subjects that are there in the exam, very important that we should know. English language 28 to 32 questions, current affairs including general knowledge 35 to 39 questions, legal reasoning 35 to 39 questions, logical reasoning 28 to 32 questions, quantitative techniques 13 to 17 questions. Now one by one I'm going to tell you that which are the topics that you need to cover, how you need to cover. We are going to have a look at the previous year question papers, some of the questions, so that you know that what are you preparing for. We're going to discuss about the books or the study material that you should study from. So this is what we are going to do. So I hope you have your pens and papers ready to note down everything, right? This is going to be a detailed video. I'm going to give you all the details because I want to introduce you to CLAT completely for once and all. We're going to start with legal aptitude, or what we call legal reasoning. How to study for legal aptitude. Now you need to understand one thing, that I am making it easier for you. What I'm doing is I'm telling you the steps that you have to follow, that ultimately you are in a position that you are able to answer the questions in the exam. Right, so I'm making it completely easier for you. Number one step that you have to do is understanding basic legal concepts or topics. Right, you know what, you need to understand the language of law. Right, every field has its own language. If we talk about medical, engineering, every field has its own language. Music has its own language. Right, similarly law also has its own language, and being a law aspirant, you need to learn, or you need to understand the basic topics and basic language of law. Now for that, what you have to do is you have to study these topics. Please note down these topics. Number one is Indian Constitution, followed by contracts, criminal law, and torts. These are some of the basic topics of law, right? And you need to cover. I hope you have written them, right? You need to cover these topics. Now from where you need to cover these topics, you have to cover these topics either from AP Bharadwaj or Willy. These are the name of the books, right? You will find the link in the description box. AP Bharadwaj or Willy, any book you can go for, right? Don't expect direct questions. Now what you need to understand is that from these topics, it is not like that you read these 4 lines and out of these 4 lines a question is framed and it is there in the exam. Don't expect, there are very little chances that there are going to be direct questions from these topics. Then why are we doing these topics? Why are we studying these topics? Because understanding these topics is going to help you understand the language of law, which is going to be there in the question. So you need to understand the question to answer it, to be able to answer it. So for that, number one thing that you have to do is you need to understand these topics. So when you study these topics, my kids, what you need to do is you have to aim. Your aim should be understanding and not mugging up. It should not be mugging up, या फिर जिसे हम रट्टाफिकेशन भी कहते हैं. No रट्टाफिकेशन here. You have to understand. right? Next step that you have to do is now reading newspaper and understanding legal concepts. Now you need to understand that we are done with basic laws. We have understood basic laws. Now the next thing is reading newspaper, and from the newspaper you need to make sure that whichever legal news is there, which is important, important legal news, you need to understand that important legal news. You need to understand that important legal news, because higher chances are there, or rather it is from this legal news, the concepts or the laws that are there in the legal news, questions are framed from these legal news. Questions are framed from these legal news, the current legal news, what we call it, current legal news. So what are current legal affairs? You need to understand current legal affairs are nothing but they are the important judgments of the Supreme Court and the High Court. Any new law which has come into being, कोई नया law आया है, or any amendment. What is an amendment? Amendment is change. Any change has been done to the previous law, or any other news related to law, any other issue related to law related issue. If today you pick up the newspaper, you're going to see information technology laws have been challenged by WhatsApp, Twitter is in question, right? Facebook is in question. So these are all law related issues. We can call them current legal affairs. So you need to keep an eye on these current legal affairs and issues, and you need to read about them. You need to have a good understanding so that easily you can understand the question. And we have read the basic laws, so the basic laws are going to help you in understanding the current law, help you in understanding what? Understanding the current law. Hope you have understood. Next is how to recognize what is important. Your question must be how to recognize or identify what is important. Nice question. Now on Law Giri, what I have started doing is on Law Giri's Instagram, that is there, I'm there by the name at I am Law Giri. What we do is we post important headlines so that you know that okay, this news you have to read. Now these headlines cover your current affairs as well as legal current affairs. We're going to talk about current affairs in the next slide, but yeah, so from here you will get to know what is important. Also you have to go through the previous year question papers of CLAT so that you get an idea what is important and what is not, right? Okay, am I clear on this? And also we have started doing legal weekly videos. What I do is in this I pick up the important legal current affairs topics and I explain you everything. Weekly videos we are doing. Watch those, you will understand, and you will also understand how easy it is to understand law, right? Now we did this. Number one, we understood the basic laws. Number two, we know about the current laws, right? Now this we are doing for what? This we are doing for what? Understanding. This we are doing for understanding. But we also need to learn how to solve. Now in your CLAT exam you have legal reasoning questions. Now what are these legal reasoning questions? If you have never seen a legal reasoning question, do not worry, I have done a video on how to solve legal reasoning questions and what are legal reasoning questions. I'll leave the link in the description box below. You can go through the video and you'll understand. There's nothing. What lawyers do in their everyday life is there's a client who comes and tells this is the issue. Similarly, there's going to be a story in the question and then you have to apply the law, right? No doubt the pattern has changed. Yes, I want to tell you that in CLAT 2020, the CLAT 2020 exam that took place, it was with the changed pattern. The pattern was changed and they did inform, right? ऐसा नहीं था कि छुपके से चेंज कर लिया, नहीं, इन्फॉर्म किया गया था प्रॉपर. So CLAT 2020 took place with the changed pattern. So before that the pattern was something else. Now the pattern is that there is a passage followed by 5 to 6 questions, then again there is a passage, then again 5 to 6 questions. All the sections are like this, right? So we are understanding. Now you need to understand that how you have to solve, and obviously once you get to know how to solve, you have to practice. And how to practice? You have to solve previous year question papers में जितने भी legal reasoning questions हैं. You have to solve all the legal reasoning questions from previous year question papers. Now you'll see when you pick up CLAT 2020 ka previous year question paper, which you will find in the description box below, you'll say that no, you know, the pattern is different. CLAT 2020 pattern is different, 2019 is different. But if you dig a little deeper, you will see that somewhere it is the same, and that is what CLAT guidelines also say, that if you practice the previous year question papers for legal reasoning, it is the best thing. The best thing. Now, if you have AP Bharadwaj, they have already provided you with the previous year question papers. If you do not have AP Bharadwaj, you can get them. You can get the previous year question papers photocopied with answers and you can solve them. Am I clear on this now? Am I clear? Right? So now we'll practice the question. We understand the language of law and you're good to go. You should not worry. You're saying we have to do so much. It is so difficult. Let me leave this. No, I'm going to tell you that how you have to do all of this, because it is not in one day that you have to do all of this. It is going to be divided. Let's have a look at one of the questions that I have picked up from CLAT 2020 legal reasoning section. Now this is the passage. This entire is the passage here, right? And then these are the questions. I've just picked up 3 questions. I think 5 to 6 questions were there. So this is the principle of strict liability, principle of absolute liability, right? So you have to call out the principles from here. If you watch my videos, like my legal current affairs videos, you're going to see that I tell you how you have to call out the essentials. So you can learn that from there, right? And this was in news, this particular LG Polymer. So there was a gas leak that took place from their premises, this company's premises in Visakhapatnam. So in 2020, this was in news, and from there only this was a legal news related to law, that what would be the liability that the company would have to pay. Because this gas has leaked, it has caused damage to the to the people, to the environment and everything else, to the workers. So what liability, how much amount they will have to pay, or what they would have to pay, right? So it is a law related thing. So law related news, legal news, current affairs, legal current affairs. So a question has been curated out of this and it has been asked, right? So you have to practice, you have to understand law, and that's it. You're good to go. This is one of the most scoring sections, I must tell you. If you practice well, you'll have fun when you study this, right? You should have fun, because you're going to be a lawyer and there should be a heart to heart feeling when you study legal aptitude. The next section that we're going to talk about is general knowledge. How to study for general knowledge. Now, step 1 is reading newspaper every day. Look, when you read newspaper, we have already talked about legal current affairs. You're going to cover your legal current affairs also from the newspaper, right? Once you have understood that how you have to, answer the question, you have studied the basic law, everyday thing is reading the newspaper, right? So legal current affairs, your GK section depends on what? Newspaper. So reading newspaper is very important part of your preparation for CLAT. Right now, you might ask which newspaper. You can go for The Hindu or The Indian Express. If you're in your area, The Hindu or The Indian Express is not there, you can go for e-paper or e-newspaper. That is, you can subscribe online with any of these newspapers. Right, next is learn to read newspaper. I have already done 2 videos, so you should not have any problem. Know what is important. Again, you do not have to, please, I'm writing this because people don't get it. Do not have to read the entire newspaper. No, you do not have to read the entire newspaper. This is a cross. You just have to read the important news. And again, on Law Giri's Instagram, you'll get to know. Also go through the GK and legal aptitude, legal reasoning section of previous year CLAT papers that you can find on www.lawgiri.com, right? So previous year question papers, go through them, and then you will see that you are able to understand that what type of questions are asked. Done on this. Next is creating a material from wherein you can revise. This is very important. Now, obviously reading newspaper once won't help you in remembering, and retaining and remembering. Remembering is one thing that is important. So for that, what you have to do, you have to revise again and again. Now, how to create this material? There are 2 options that you have. Number 1 is handwritten notes. notes. Now you might say, I do not have time to create handwritten notes. It's fine. Option, you want to go for it, you do not want to go for it. The next option that you have is that it is important when you're reading the newspaper, you have to, for covering your GK, you have to read the important news from the newspaper, right? Plus you have to read one monthly current affairs magazine. It can be any. You can go for IS Vision, GK Today, Pratyogita Darpan, News and Events, any. But one magazine you have to go for. Why? Number one, when you go for a magazine, what happens is that they have done the research. They have done the research for you, related questions, this you should know, that you should know. So that is an advantage for us. Next thing is that if in case we miss out on any important news, these magazines make sure that we do not miss out, right? So that way we can, in a tension-free manner, we can read the newspaper as well as the magazine. Now you'll say, then why should we read the newspaper? If by the end of the month this magazine is going to come, I'm going to read it. Because reading newspaper is very important, because number one, when you read newspaper, your little news every day is being consumed by you, right? So little by little you are able to learn. But when you have to read the news together, everything together, it is very difficult to learn and retain. So reading newspaper is very important. You may or may not make notes. If you're going for in your magazine itself, you can make short notes, right? You can make short notes, or you can add something that you might have researched from anywhere, right? But creating a material from wherein you can revise is very important, right? Either handmade notes or short notes in your magazine, right? Duration of the current affairs that you need to cover. Now if you are an aspirant for CLAT 2023, then what is important for you is, the news that is important for you is of 2022, from January 2022 and 2023 news. So you're going to say that we are in 2021. So should we not read the newspaper? Look, this so you have to cover, right? Now we are left with this, what you should do. Now, reading newspaper, if you ask CLAT 2021 aspirants, if you ask CLAT 2022 aspirants, one problem that they're facing is that they don't know how to read the newspaper, right? So you have to learn. And how do you learn? By practicing. So you are going to read the newspaper. You might or might not make notes. You are also going to go through the magazine, because this is a practice session. You might not learn, you might not revise it, but you're going to go through it as a practice session. And if you are planning to create notes in 2022 and 2023, then you're going to practice making notes on the days when you have time. This is very important to practice. So you're going to read the newspaper, and I promise you, if you read the newspaper in 2021, in 2022 your life is going to be really easy, and 2023 also, right? Let's check out one of the questions from CLAT 2020 general knowledge section. So this relates to Rafale. So Rafale jets have always been in news. Let's see the question. The Rafale deal between India and France is seen to carry great strategic significance. Which of the following is directly impacted by this deal? Now, why I'm asking you to read the newspaper is that you will see everyone has started saying that you should read the comments. My students for 2021 exam and 2022 exam have started saying that news is repeated. There are updates related to a news. For example, again, I'm going to take that WhatsApp, Twitter issue that is going on between the government of India and WhatsApp related to information technology laws. There's an update every day that this happened, they've challenged it in the Delhi High Court, right? This has happened, they've sent a letter. So little updates, and you have to formulate an opinion. Look, this question, if you have read the newspaper, then only you can answer, right? So reading the newspaper is also important, and going through the magazine is also important. Understanding? Let's talk about quantitative techniques. Now, quantitative techniques is nothing. It is your elementary maths till 10th, right? Whatever maths you have studied, that important topics, and your data interpretation. We're going to see what is it. Do not worry, I'm going to tell you the books also. How to study for quantitative techniques. Number one is solving basic elementary maths, right? You have to solve 18 Days Wonder by S. Chand, or you can solve 30 Days Wonder. But please do not go for quantitative aptitude book by R.S. Agarwal. It is a huge book. I've shared the marks distribution with you. around 18 questions at max are going to be from your math section or quantitative technique section. Giving so much of time to your this section is not what I'm going to advise. So write 18 days wonder by Eschand or 13 days wonder by Eschand at max. 18 days should be preferred, right? If I would have been at your place, I would have gone through 18 days wonder plus 10th NCERT topics, statistics, probability, circles. The link to 10th class NCERT is going to be in the description box below. Do not buy this book. Do not buy NCERT. You do not have to solve the entire NCERT. You have to just solve this book, 18 days wonder in entirety, and you have to buy this book. But NCERT you're going to solve from a PDF. Online PDF से solve कर सकते हो, right? Step 1 is this. Step 2 is creating a formula list. You have to revise these formulas again and again. Profit and loss के formulas, simple interest and compound interest के formulas, speed, distance, time के formulas, right? एक formula list create करोगे और उसको बार बार revise करते रहोगे. Solving data interpretation questions. Now you know what is data interpretation. You just have to apply these concepts, where what you have to apply concepts, basic mathematical concepts to data interpretation. The book that I'm going to recommend is Olive Boat. I always forget the name of the book. So yeah, you have to just go through the level one of this book, right? I'm going to mention the name of the topics and everything on the screen because yeah, it is very important. You do not have to solve the entire book. Let's go through one of the questions that has been asked in the quantitative technique section. So yes, there's this question, right? It is a table that is given, and this is data interpretation and this is your maths. I think every one of us has seen this question in our NCERT book, right? But English. So in English, there is one topic that is the most important. The entire section consists of reading comprehension. Right. So for reading comprehension, step 1 is understanding how different types of questions are solved. Now, a lot of you do one mistake. Most of the CLAT aspirants, they commit this mistake. Now, you have 2 good years. Like you have 2 years. Right. So what I want you to do is, I'm going to discuss the 2-year plan with you, but I want to tell you one thing. What you do is, you say, okay, fine. You know what? I'm going to build my basic vocabulary in 11th class. I'm going to build my, like, one is this vocabulary thing and 1 or 2 things like, yeah, I'm going to study more of grammar, somewhat maths, right? You do these things in your 11th. Most of the students, right? Now what happens in 12th? They are worried. Why worried? Because they're like, oh my God, for 1 year I was preparing and I was just doing this. You know, everyone thinks that I'll build a very strong foundation and all that thing, right? Now in 12th you are worried, and in 12th you also have your board exams, right? Obviously, like in 2023, they are going to happen. Till then, vaccination is going to take place. Everything would be fine, right? Please pray everything is going to be fine. Just for your board exams, don't say that they should not happen. And this is what happens. Why not to reverse things? Why shouldn't you reverse things? Here you should reverse things. Why to reverse things? Why I'm saying what you should do instead is in 11th, you focus on completing the syllabus. In 11th, you complete the basic syllabus, study RCs, you know, whatever I'm going to tell you that from which topic you have to start. You complete the syllabus. In 11th, you are done with your syllabus. In 12th, if you think, okay, and in 12th, see what you are weak in. Maybe you are weak in maths, maybe you want to do more of critical reasoning, maybe you want to build your vocabulary, so you're reading word power made easy. But why shouldn't in 12th? Why in 11th? Because if you complete the syllabus in 11th, just imagine for a minute that you have completed the entire syllabus. All the important topics are done in 11th, and now you are in 12th. Your syllabus is complete. You just have to work on those little things, right? Your confidence is going to be so strong. You will not have any fear. You will be confident that yaar mera syllabus to ho gaya. I'm done with my syllabus. Ab to I am just building, you know, I'm making it more strong. I've built my muscles. I'm just making sure that they're there, right? So that is what you need to do, my kids. Do not do this mistake that you're working on your basics in 11th. You need to complete your syllabus. take this myth out of your mind that I'll make a strong foundation. No, for reading comprehension, having a strong vocabulary is going to help you, but it is not mandatory. What is mandatory is understanding how different types of questions are solved. That is what is mandatory. Understanding how different types of questions are solved. Even I used to think that vocabulary is very important till the time I had to give this exam wherein RCs were the thing. Like I had to solve RCs. Like I had no choice. And then I learned within like 10 days I took my score to heights. And what did I do? Did I study word power made easy? No, I did not have the time to study word power made easy. What did I do? I understood that how different types of questions related to RCs are solved. And believe you me, we think that RCs, if they're asking the tone of the passage, then they are asking this. But no, they're asking something else. So it is very important to understand that how different types of questions are solved. And for that, I've done this video related to reading comprehension. You can watch that video and go for a good book wherein reading comprehensions are explained. Any book for MBA, GMAT would work, right? Arun Sharma and Meenakshi Upadhyay is what I suggest, right? Arun Sharma is what I suggest, but you can go for any book. And if I find a book which is really good other than Arun Sharma, then I'll tell you, because I keep on researching. Now I don't tell you the book essay. I order the book myself, go through it, and then I suggest it to you, right? I am also trying to find a good book related to reading comprehension that can help you. But now I think Arun Sharma is the only book that I can refer, right? If you have any other book which is great, then do share it with me in the comment section. I'll tell others also, right? So this should be your aim. This should be your aim. In 11th, you are doing this, right? Applying theory by practicing questions. We have understood that how different types of questions are to be solved. Now you have to apply theory. How would you apply theory? By solving MCQs, by solving RCs. And once you have done this, you have to increase your speed also. You have to solve back to back 5 to 6 RCs so that you have a good speed, and you can do this. Believe you me, you can do this. I have done this. I was so bad at RCs, but then I found that I can solve RCs. This funda works. Understanding how to solve, practicing, and solving back to back RCs, right? If you want to work on your vocabulary, you can do that in 12th. And that would be much more easier. Believe you me, whenever you read this theory, you're going to make notes in the book itself so that you can revise, so that you do not forget the theory part. Okay, let's come on the logical reasoning part. In this logical reasoning part, you're going to hear these words: analytical reasoning, right? You're going to hear analytical reasoning. Some people call it critical reasoning, because some part is actually critical reasoning. So these are the things that are going to be there. Let's see. Critical reasoning and logical reasoning. Now, critical reasoning is a new subject, and because it is a new subject, the entire clan is so worried about it. You need not worry. The topics that we have to cover is basic critical reasoning first, that is assumption, arguments, inference, conclusion, right? You can go for M.K. Pandey or Willis. These two books do work, right? If you think that you are too afraid of a subject, you can go for Willy. This is a book for GMAT, right? GMAT is an MBA exam. Yes, you have to go for this book because we have to understand the explanation. They have explained well. Or you can go for any other book wherein you find good explanation to critical reasoning, right? For logical reasoning, you need to solve these topics, that is puzzle test, series, coding, decoding, blood relations. Please note down these topics, very important. For this, you're going to go for verbal and non-verbal reasoning by R.S. Agarwal. Only these topics you need to solve. Only these topics. I want to tell you one more thing related to logical reasoning. That is that you do not have to solve your critical reasoning part, your assumptions, arguments part from R.S. Agarwal, because a lot of questions are not given in the right way. The answers are not right. So please do not do that. A lot of people do that mistake, and then wrong, answers are there in your head, and then it gets really difficult. So either M.K. Pandey for critical reasoning or your Willy, right? If you're going for self-study, then go for a good book wherein there is good explanation of critical reasoning. I'll link the books that I think are right in the description box below. You can choose any, right? Now, how to study? This is very important. How to study for this exam? Number one step that you're going to have is, when you're studying a topic, you need to make sure that you try to understand that topic. Number one, understanding is very important. Number two, you should mark plus make short notes. Mark plus make short notes, because we have to revise. We have to revise. People, if we do not revise, it is really difficult, really difficult. So your step one is understanding, step two is revising. You have to revise things again and again and again. One tip that I want to give you here is, I give it always: 5 days are weekdays, right? Monday to Friday you are going to do new topics. Saturday and Sunday you're going to revise. Saturday and Sunday you're going to revise, right? You're going to revise the theory, the short notes. You're going to practice MCQs, right, while you're revising. And also here, also in the first step, after reading your theory, you're understanding your theory. After reading your theory, you're going to attempt MCQs. It is very important to practice MCQs, or whatever you have to practice. Kids, if you're only reading theory and putting a tick, if you're only putting the theory and putting a tick, or marking and short notes also done, and not attempting MCQs or practicing questions, very difficult that you will be able to clear the CLAT, right? You have to practice, you have to understand, and you have to revise, and you have to revise this. These are the things that you have to do. These three things are stages of preparation. So stage one is going to be completing the syllabus. What is your stage one? Completing the syllabus as soon as possible. ASAP, as you guys say it in your language. ASAP, you're going to complete your syllabus. Number one thing, right? Stage two is going to be wherein. Stage two is going to be wherein you are just revising. You are going to revise. And since you are a 2-year law candidate, like you have 2 years, not 2-year law candidate, you have 2 years, you're going to revise. Like one time you're going to entirely revise the syllabus. And then in stage 3, what you're going to do is keep on revising as many times as you can. As many times, entire syllabus, as many times as you can. Minimum 3 to 4 times for you guys, because you have 2 years, right? Plus you're going to attempt mock tests. This is very important. Dividing things, right? Number one, you're going to complete the syllabus. This should be the one thing that should be on your list, okay? Here is the thing, the first year plan. Read the newspaper every day, my kids. Reading newspaper is very, very important, right? Now, Indian Constitution. You're going to begin with Indian Constitution. Why Indian Constitution? I'm going to explain you here. Now, Indian Constitution, because Indian Constitution is going to help you in reading newspaper, right? It is going to help you in reading newspaper, and we all know that in CLAT, reading newspaper, N is newspaper, reading newspaper is equal to your legal aptitude. Your legal aptitude gets covered, your general knowledge gets covered, plus it also helps in English, because your reading speed, your understanding of English increases, right? So even your vocabulary improves when you read the newspaper, right? So reading newspaper is one important thing, and for understanding the newspaper, Indian Constitution is one thing that you need to go through, because Indian Constitution is the rule book. We can call Indian Constitution as the rule book, because everything, the procedures, everything is there. Please, you believe me guys, study your Indian Constitution first. In the first month, completely cover the Indian Constitution. And when you understand, you don't have to learn, you have to understand everything related to Indian Constitution. If you understand Indian Constitution, you're going to see that you are able to understand newspaper pretty well. We also have a course for Indian Constitution which you can join. Link is going to be in the description box, wherein you can find the details, right? You can study by yourself also. Give 1 month, 2 hours every day. So I am assuming that your schedule is such, you're giving 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour to newspaper reading, and then 2 hours to any of the topic, any topic, right? So 3 hours every day minimum. 3 hours every day minimum to CLAT preparation. Right? This much you can give. I hope you can. The next topic that you can cover is your torts, contracts, 15 days, 2 hours every day, 15 days, 2 hours. Like 15 days you can cover these 3 topics, and by doing so your LA would be almost complete. You can also do your legal terms and maxims. Legal terms and maxims, I'll leave the document link in the description box below. Right, most of it, what are legal terms and maxims? The basic legal terms that are used, that are there in law, right, that you need to know about. So covering these topics plus legal terms and maxims, I'll leave the document, important ones, in the description box below. I've done 2 videos also, you can check that out. I'm going to write here legal terms. Right, now the next topic that you're going to go for is your reading comprehension. Very important. If you cover your RC is equal to English. You know, entire English section is based on RC. So we are going to do the RCs. Then we are going to give 60 days to critical reasoning. To reading comprehension, you're going to give 30 days. Guys, remember the steps that I have told you that you are going to follow. Right? Maths 30 days, data interpretation 30 days, 2 hours every day would continue. Right? That is what you are going to do. If you do this, now I'm going to tell you, let me erase all the things here. Now if you complete this part, your LA is done. What you could do, right, obviously you're going to practice the questions side by side. You're going to practice the questions side by side. Remember that. Okay, it is not only reading theory. I told you theory plus MCQs. That is what I'm telling you here. Then you have your English. If you do this, your English is done, almost done, right? And then if you do your critical reasoning, your logical reasoning part is done. Means third subject is cross. This is your fourth subject, right? Fifth subject, I'm telling you, that reading newspaper. By doing so, your important topics are done. A big tick mark. The topics that are going to be there for sure, or that are going to help you in something, that is going to be there for sure. So this you have to do it in this order itself. If you want to change the order, what you can do is, you can, immediately after Indian Constitution, you can go for reading comprehension, then you can go for these topics, and then critical reasoning, maths and data interpretation, right? So max by February, like by January 2022 or Feb 2022, you should be done with your syllabus. In fact, you should have revised the syllabus once, right? If you go by the speed, if you make use of the holidays that are going to be there, everything, guys, please make good use of the holidays. It is not necessary that you give 3 hours only. If there is a day when you can give 7 to 8 hours, give 7 to 8 hours to your CLAT preparation. Right, second year plan. Now what will you do with your second year, the left out part? For example, your logical reasoning, puzzle test, series, coding, decoding, blood relations, cover this. Then you have your grammar plus figures of speech. If you want to know which topics of grammar that you have to cover, you can check out our website. I have mentioned in the syllabus, right? Topics like tenses, subject verb agreement, your articles, basic grammar you need to cover. Right, then which are the other topics? You can work on making your vocabulary strong now. Word power made easy. If you think your vocabulary is weak, I guarantee you, I take my words. If you read newspaper, your vocabulary is going to improve. Whenever you see, like, there are words that you will start guessing, acha iska meaning ye, I think this is the meaning. And if there's difficult word, try to find the meaning. By reading newspaper for 7 to 8 months, you're going to see that your vocabulary has improved. But if still you want to do, now in 12th you can go for word power made easy after covering the syllabus. Work on your strengths after you've covered the syllabus, not before. You have to, you have to decorate your room fine, but first make the room. After that, what is there? Revision plus mock test. You will be the boss. If you follow this timetable, you're going to be the boss. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I get messages from people who have to appear in CLAT 2022 and they have followed the schedule that I gave in 2020 to them. That in 2021, in 2020 and 2021, do this. They have to appear for CLAT 2022 and they tell me which mock test we should solve. We are done with our syllabus. We have revised it so many times. What we should do. And how did you do so? They said, we saw your video. That is why So there are people who are doing this. Why can't you? Tell me. So guys, that's it for today's video. I hope this video is helpful. If it is helpful, then do not forget to hit that like button and do subscribe to the channel. And also guys, please check the description box because I've shared so many useful links for all of you. Number one, I've shared the videos that you should watch for sure. Some of the videos that I'm going to recommend are the books video, wherein I've shown you the books actually. So I usually buy the book that I recommend to you, and I've shown it to you on camera so that you can choose for yourself that which one do you really need or you should buy, so that you do not waste your money. Number two, please watch the syllabus video wherein I've analyzed the CLAT 2020 paper completely. I've analyzed the CLAT guidelines, so you'll be able to come up with a complete syllabus. Understanding the syllabus as a new CLAT candidate, new CLAT aspirant, it is very, very important. So please go through these two videos. My humble request, you might think that I'm promoting my own videos, but these are two videos, the books one and the syllabus one is going to help you for sure. And also do check out the previous year question paper, because that is going to give you an idea that what actually are you preparing for. So yeah guys, that's it from my side. Law Giri signing off. Take care and study hard. Bye.